Getting back to our breaking news about the New Orleans Crime Coalition's annual survey. It was just released about 11 minutes ago. They're going over some key takeaways. We're going over them with Michael Cowan and Greg Rusevich with the Crime Coalition. First of all, thank you, gentlemen. Thank you for coming in. And the news is not good right now.
No, sir. No, sir.
And Michael, what are some of the things you found in this survey?
Well, Eric, let me say first that we've been doing this survey annually since 2009, so we've got a good trend that we can watch. It's the best survey that's available for gauging how people feel about the police department and also about the city in certain ways. So what we found was that 88% of the people who responded regard the city, feel that the city is unsafe. The satisfaction with the police department's performance is the lowest that it has been, going all the way back to the beginning of
And that's
our
probably
survey.
not with just citizens. Every cop I talk to says morale has never been lower.
Yeah, and we're none of this is said to blame the police department. I'm just telling you what the
No, I understand that.
were. And the other thing is, and this is an important one, for years now we've tracked blacks and whites' responses to this survey, and basically there's no difference. This is one thing that we are unified on. Yeah.
And you also looked at some of the things that people want to see happen in this city. Some of them are very obvious because we all feel it.
People are disgusted, and I think this survey showed how disgusted people are. The disgust is not aimed at the NOPD officers who put their lives on the line every single day of the week, every hour of the week for each one of us. The disgust is at the lack of political action. The public is expecting political leaders to act. And it's right here in the survey. The survey has called for 90%. 90% of the public want a raise for officers, a raise to appreciate what the officers are doing. 90% want more cops in their neighborhood. 90% want more recruiting of cops and more retention of cops. And 80% want the cops to be able to use full use of all constitutional technology. It is time for political leaders to act and demonstrate appreciation for the officers and to demonstrate to do what the community is calling for, which is a very simple plan. More cops, more money, more technology.
And you all think that could be paid for without raising taxes?
Yes.
How?
Well,
and why has it not been done?
Maybe Greg could talk about the money that is unspent at this point.
Well, the NOPD has the money in their budget because they budgeted for a greater number of officers than they currently have for this year.
And do we actually know a number of how many cops are on the street?
You know, Eric, some say 1,000, some say 900. The official number NOPD says is closer to 1,000. Anecdotally, people seem to believe on other numbers it's closer to 900. But you start breaking down that 900, and we just don't have enough cops. We need more officers. So everything should be done, all hands on deck, to figure out a way to recruit more officers and retain more officers. And one of those is through a pay raise. The other one is to show appreciation for the officers, give them full use of all constitutional technology. The money is there. You know the money has come from Washington. There's money in the city budget. There's money in the NOPD budget. Do what is necessary and do what the people are calling for. This is just clear in the survey what the people are calling for.
And you know, you hear all the time that it's just hard to get new recruits in, hard to get more cops in. The pay is not enough. You know, people do want to have more officers on the street.
They do, and we've worked hard at recruiting and retention. And as you say, it's just a very heavy lift. It's hard work. There has to be enough money, and the major cities all around the country are also, you know, trying to recruit police officers.
But it seems like we're in a vicious circle, you know, because we want to get everything better, but then people don't necessarily want to come here because of crime, education, et cetera, et cetera. You know, where do we get these people?
Well, there's a very aggressive marketing campaign that the Police Foundation does. And actually, Eric, we get a good number of applications through the Police Foundation's efforts. We get a very sufficient number of applications. We need more, but it's sufficient. What we need to do now is bolster and get even more applicants, but that's not the problem. The problem is turning those applicants to test takers. And so we need additional funds to turn the applicants to test takers and then turn them into NOPD officers.
And are we keeping up with the recruiting effort is there? but then the attrition is so high.
We're losing too many officers because, as what you said earlier, morale is down. One of the reasons morale is down is because they can go to other parishes and they can have a greater police force, and they can have more safety, because right now they don't feel safe. We need an all-out call for a clarion action for every single leader in this community to support NOPD with anything and everything NOPD needs to protect the citizens.
And I'm running out of time, but let me ask you both this. You know, we seem to be in a crisis right now in this city. Are you optimistic at all it's going to be solved?
Well, I don't know about optimistic, but I'm hopeful, and I believe that if we can do these things that we need to do, which in many ways, as Greg has said, are political, they're not technical, they're political, then yeah, we could solve this.
How do you move the politicians to do it?
Eric, this is reminiscent of where we were after Katrina. This is really reminiscent. If you look at this data and you talk to people on the street, we're back to now sort of that post-Katrina mode, 2008, 2009,
Yeah.
2010. And at that point, the citizens came together and spoke up and said, enough is enough. And that's, I think, where we are now. We're at a turning point, and we either keep the community or we lose the community. And it is a crisis, and we need to treat it as a crisis. And every single government leader and political leader needs to treat it as a crisis. Every business leader, civic leader, neighborhood leader needs to treat it as a crisis, and they are. We need to get back to that vigorous leadership, vigorous effort we had after Katrina, and then insist that the political leadership follow the citizens. We know what the citizens want.
And you want everybody, like you guys are, yelling from the rooftops.
Absolutely.
Yes.
This is life and death stuff.
It is
for
literally.
people and for the city.
All right,
Absolutely
thank you
correct.
very much. Mayor Cantrell is expressing her full support for NOPD Superintendent Sean Ferguson. In a statement yesterday, the mayor said, quoting now, "I continue to have full faith and confidence in Chief Sean Ferguson's ability to prioritize public safety and effectively lead the women and men of the New Orleans Police Department." She goes on to say Chief Ferguson deserves our unwavering support and trust, and he and the dedicated women and men of the NOPD merit our full measure of respect. Michelle?